Hello, I'm Anushka Sengupta from Impact Magazine, and we have with us today Geetanjali Chugh Kothari, who's the CMO of Generali Central Life Insurance. Geetanjali, happy to have you here.
Thank you, Anushka. It's a pleasure.
So, Geetanjali, firstly, congratulations on this rebrand, this new identity.
Yes.
And if you can walk us through the rebranding journey, what was the core idea behind and how did you navigate it?
Thank you so much, first of all. It has been a long time coming, and we all were waiting for this for a while. We know that the brand, the erstwhile brand, has gone through a certain journey because of insolvency, etc.
Right.
So when this partnership came about, and it was through, of course, a bid process through NCLT. We started hearing the name, and I think the name of Central Bank of India brought the kind of trust back in the organization, in the employees, in the stakeholders, customers, everybody. As and when the news kept coming out, and I think the process started more than about 12, 18 months ago.
Right.
And when the conversations were firming up, bidding had begun, etc., we already started to see a very positive infusion of sentiment across the board, across all stakeholders. And this transition has been very exciting, very seamless and smooth, because it hasn't emerged out of any, I would say, acquisition or anyone feeling any, say, acts of the acquisition, which also often happens in M&As otherwise. But this one has been a win-win for everyone who's been involved.
Right. And what role does Central Bank of India play in this particular, like in terms of the partnership as well as in your marketing strategy?
Sure. So a significant role in the sense that the name Central Bank of India itself lends a lot of trust. Generali is a global leader in insurance, as we all know. And Central Bank of India has been one of the first nationalized bank of the country. Together, they bring about 300 years of legacy experience, right, in their respective space. In India, insurance, especially, given that it's a high engaged category, life insurance, and it's a product that you buy for a very long term, and a product that in most circumstances, the reason that you buy is that you won't use it yourself. Your family will use it, right? So that factor of trust becomes even more important, that after you, your family shouldn't have to run pillar to post, right? At the same time, 92% of our claims are actually maturity claims. Only 8% are death claims. Keeping all of this in mind, and the factor, the trust factor that Central Bank of India brings onto the table, we are using every possible opportunity to position both the brands together, to position the fact that we are backed by two extremely strong institutions, really massive in their own might and space. And the consumer will only benefit if they now come on board with us.
Also, how does this rebrand strengthen your position in the Indian insurance market today?
Well, I would say that the benefit, and in fact, even to your previous question, and even this one, is going to be seen both in terms of brand equity as well as the business prowess, right? I mean, this is the two way that we typically measure that what is the mind share and what is the market share. Mind share, automatically with the equity that Central Bank brings, and together Generali Central becomes a much more strong brand in terms of equity, will automatically then reflect in the market share as well, which of course is a process. But with this, strategic partnership, our distribution footprint increases significantly. What that does is that it gives us entry into markets that we were never present in. I'll give you a small example. We right now have 100 branches of the brand itself. However, we are now being able to serve customers in over 4,500 branches of Central Bank. So you can well imagine the increase in scale and increase in distribution and access to the customer that this will give us.
Right. Okay. Also, if you can tell us what is the marketing mix of the brand, who takes the lion's share?
Well, we had been media dark since a while, since the last couple of years.
Right.
We were, and by media dark I mean ATL. is where we were not primarily present. We were irrespective doing enough and more to keep our distribution afloat, because again, the industry is such, and especially in the critical quarters of I would say from November until March, and that's where more than about 60% business happens for the entire industry for the year.
Right.
These are the quarters where you must also be visible. So up until now, we were focusing on a lot of digital and out of home. With this happening, we want to also scream out loud about the brand that we are, the proposition and the brand promise that we have for the customer. Uh, Earlier this month itself, when the brand changeover took place, we extensively went across all markets in national dailies as well as regional dailies. We in fact tied up with Times of India across all their centers. It was an all India edition that we released,
Right.
and then some key markets as well. 15, in fact 25 insertions in print. This is going to now be followed up with the mass television campaign as well. And television now is all about connected TV. It's not just
Right.
pure TV, right? So it will be a heavy duty CTV plan, which will soon hit the screens.
Okay. Also, Geetanjali, if you can tell us, how do you blend Generali's global identity with Indian consumer needs today?
Um, Very important question. See, Generali is an international brand, and of
Right.
course, we want to carry the legacy and the expertise and all the advantages that Generali's recall brings to the table. Yet, at the same time, we very clearly understand that it must be localized, as well as the fact that India is not India anymore. It's more about being Bharat, right?
Right.
Our focus also, therefore, is outside of just metros. And we want to reach the hinterland of the country as well, with CB being a very important partner in our strategic framework. And so everything that we put out there, we ensure that Generali's legacy is maintained. At the same time, it is localized to an extent and hyper personalized to an extent that the imagery that you see in North India is very different from the one that you see even in Southern India. We fully respect the diversity of the country, and one size does not fit all, right? I mean, it's not even that, and that's the reason of those 20 plus insertions. We do not even want to cut one language across the country,
Right.
and that's the India that we are.
Right. Absolutely. Also, how do you ensure that you appeal to both urban as well as rural audiences?
Well, like I said, we believe very firmly in customer segmentation. I won't say that the cuts are limited only to urban and rural. We cut across all demographics.
Right.
As a matter of fact, even in the urban market, uh, the population that is, if I were to take Mumbai as an example, South Mumbai is very different from, say, rest of Mumbai, right? So through different, I mean, means of personalization, and of course, AI has now come to enable hyper personalization for all of us. The media mix that we use it so effectively in a manner that, especially BTL communication that goes out, it is tailor made for the person that we are speaking to. We're in the process of augmenting and enriching our data in a manner that we will be able to even identify every customer in the sense that which is his preferred language of communication. I mean, for me, it could be, while I'm residing in Mumbai, for me, it could be Hindi and not Marathi, right? For somebody else, it could be Gujarati. That's the blend that even cities like these present to us. So, without really putting a blanket on everyone, we want to get down to n is equal to 1, where customer experience is so unique to a customer level.
Right. Also, life insurance or insurance in general is a very sensitive category. So, how do you balance emotional storytelling as well as trust in your campaigns and your marketing communications?
Well, uh, two-pronged answer to that. One is, it is an emotional category, right? It is not transactional in any sense. So it is an emotional category.
Right.
You cannot base such important decisions in your life without being emotional. However, at the same time, because we're talking financial need, there are times it does become transactional at the same time. We blend the two in a manner that we very consciously focus on what is called need-based selling.
Right.
What that really does is that helps us understand the customer in a manner that when we probe the customer, even his needs also become clear to the customer as well. I mean, there are many times that even I, as a family, if I were to go pick up some solution for myself or my family in the future, there are questions that I do not have answers to, right? I might have a vision, but I do not know how to get there. That in say 20 years, how do I get to a point, right? Uh, Through this consultative need-based selling, we educate the customers in a manner that what will suit them the best, and therefore what solutions do we have to offer to them. So everything is very value proposition based and not product backwards.
Okay. Also, what kind of customers are you targeting aggressively post this rebrand?
I wouldn't say aggressively, but yes, the market definitely opens up. Our
Right.
focus has always been at 24 to 44. It's just that the number of markets that we were going to increases significantly. With the kind of solutions that we have, and like I said, since the focus is need-based selling, we focus on those cohorts of customer segmentation. Of course, customers are different in each city, in each cohort. Our focus still is across saving, is across Gen Z, right? So there are these multiple areas that we are still focusing on.
What kind of strategies are you using to appeal to Gen Z? Because again, insurance or life insurance in general is a category that Gen Z will not, get to like opt for. So, what
Absolutely.
kind of strategies are you using? Are you using influencer marketing, planning your campaigns differently? If you can give us some idea. There.
Sure. So influencer marketing, I think I would like to say is a means to the end, right? However, what you say really holds the key. For Gen Z, I believe it's very important to simplify and not use jargons in any way. And it is certainly not about the inevitable question of whether you will be around or not. I think the short-term plans are of course a big deal because we're talking of a YOLO generation, and it's all about what is it that I can get right now. So the product propositions are also built in a manner that they appeal to the younger audience. The way that we sell to them is being invested upon. Everything is getting digitized. I mean, it has to be on a click of a button, right? So the process has to become even more simpler. It has to be much less number of forms and much faster turnaround and conversion on the table.
Right.
And our focus is being digital first. So which is why we're integrating AI also in every respect that we possibly can.
So, apart from process, you're saying you're also curating your products specifically for
Absolutely,
Gen Z.
absolutely. So I won't say I have any on the table at the moment. However, we're always in the process of understanding what the market needs, conducting researches, understanding the triggers and barriers of the category, and these specific demographics as well. Much like that, I'll give you another example that it's a channel that we launched last year, which is Women in Insurance.
Okay.
Women in Insurance that we launched is by the women. It is a digital first channel where we hire women from MBA institutes directly into corporate. So it's a campus to corporate program. Also because we understand that these are the Gen Zs that we want, right? And it's also much easier for them to be able to convince another Gen Z for that matter. So getting newer people from that cohort into the workforce, using digital as a first channel, because we are using social media in an extensive way by preparing reels, and we're not even pushing products out so much. We are only talking about category awareness and how and why must one invest in insurance? Why should one even consider this product? So this is one such example that we launched last year, and it's doing extensively well for us.
Right. You also have a lovely logo here.
Yes.
Lovely new logo. So if you can tell us what was the biggest challenge that you faced in this rebranding journey, and maybe some of the key observations that you've made in the process.
Well, I think I wouldn't say challenge. It was a great opportunity because we wanted to get central bank and the mnemonic, the icon and the name equally visible in the name. And I think that was one piece that we were always very clear about. So that part was rather easy. I think planning is the key. I mean, there is no level of double click and triple click that one can miss, because everything must be seamless and everything must be synchronized in a manner that if you have to go live on day one, every activity has a very different tact, right? And Secondly, the communication to all your stakeholders is extremely important. Like I said, this was a change that many were looking forward to, which is why it became even more exciting and easy for even the stakeholders. But synchronizing everything together, every single person in the organization has a role to play, every department and every function has a role to play. So ensuring that everybody works together towards this common goal is one massive and mammoth exercise.
Right. Also, if you can tell us what are the maybe the newer digital or AI tools that you are using in your marketing strategies.
Sure. So there are two that I can talk about, and something that we are very proud of among the many which are being discussed and underway. One, of course, is the hyper-personalized communication that we've moved into. So
Okay.
every policy renewal message that goes out is not a static message anymore. It's a personalized AI video where an avatar, actually it's a human avatar, uh, s- directly speaks to the consumer, reminds them of the policy premium, etc., against the product that is due. And this has shown some great impact and results on our renewal payment as well. As we know, because it's a long-term category, renewals are very important, right? You have to
Right.
stay invested to receive the benefits of the product that you have. That is one. And second, something which is extremely close to all of us, we very recently, with the rebrand, launched our new website with a voice-based chatbot, which is first in the industry. We've named her Jenny.
Okay.
And with Jenny, you can, in the over a couple of weeks, you should be able to start speaking to Jenny, where Jenny, if you were to ask anything, will answer back. And answer everything from your inquiry regarding the category all the way to your servicing and claim settlement. So this is
Right.
the journey that we're looking at, and it's the first in the industry.
Right. Geetanjali, if you can tell us what are the two trends in your industry that excites you the most, and how is Generali Central Life Insurance capitalizing on those trends?
I mean, by way of trends, I won't even call it trend per se, but the two areas where the industry and I won't even say only insurance, but anybody who's serving the customer is focusing on. One is, of course, AI. If I can take an example, when Cadbury came up with this particular ad where they were hyper personalizing it for stores, etc., and which one
Right.
guns also with Reflex AI, I think that opened up the market significantly. So that is something that everybody is now exploring in a manner that we all want some lion's share of it. And I think we have barely even scratched the surface right now. There is just so much potential and so much that's still going to be available to all of us. The other piece I think is we all have realized, again, this is category agnostic, that brands are moving towards value proposition and less in hero worshipping. Of
Right.
course, celebrities do bring value on the table, but it's not just for the fact that you need a face for the brand. Uh, it needs to be meaningful, it needs to be built around the celebrity, if at all. Otherwise, simply focus on the value proposition that you have to offer to the customer.
Right. My last question would be that insurance penetration today is still very low, right?
Yes.
And we have a massive target insurance for all by
Yes.
2047.
Yes.
So, what is your stance here, your perspective here, and what is Generali Central Life Insurance doing to move towards that target?
So this is of course an industry-wide concern,
Right.
and I also, by the way, represent the Insurance Awareness Council,
Right.
and we very recently launched a campaign on the 2nd of July for that matter.
Right.
So the industry itself is working towards ensuring that we increase the penetration of the category, and for which there are initiatives that even the regulator is obviously focusing on. The announcement that came about on GST just last evening is also a step towards that direction.
Right.
The idea is to make insurance more affordable for consumers, at the same time making it available through the distribution lineup that we have. Of course, like I mentioned, the Central Bank of India allows us that distribution access as well. At the same time, with, of course, the regulators' blessings, we all have also been allocated a state each. We, for example, Generali Central has Sikkim as a state that we focus on. And this helps us with a very focused approach in going through the length and the breadth of the state as well. At the same time, there are gram panchayats that we need to that we have adopted per se, where we have to sell insurance. So there are many initiatives that we all are working towards as an industry, along with the regulator, and in fact along with the finance ministry as well. So it is definitely a concern that we all recognize and acknowledge and have taken it upon ourselves.
Geetanjali, thank you so much for talking to us and lovely, wonderful insights.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.